So, we got some new to restore for you guys, and today our restoration project is going to be a set of Style 20 Turbine wheels that I picked up for pretty cheap. And these wheels definitely do have a backstory on them, and of course they're complete with the separate them, the face and the turbine blade, of course, and these are directional. I do have left and right, but these are quite interesting wheels. Obviously these don't look like wheels, but how about I explain to you a little history lesson about these. The E34 M5 launched with these funky looking wheels called the M System 1, also known as Style 20. They were fitted to all E34 M5s from launch year of 88 to model year of 92, where they got replaced with the M System 2, also known as Throwing Star or Style 21 from model year 93 and onwards. The M System family of wheels were basically a 5-spoke wheel that had fancy covers bolted on them. Both Turbine and Throwing Star covers are interchangeable on the same wheels. In the case of the turbines, they came with a fan blade behind the face, and its function was to pull air onto the brake rotors while the wheel was spinning for extra brake cooling. Pretty cool for a factory street car to come with race car turbofan style wheels. They came in 17x8 and 17x9 and in a variety of offsets, and were offered on the E34 5 Series, the E32 7 Series, and later on the Throwing Star was also offered on the E31 8 Series. This specific set of turbine covers I found came from this place called Imports Unlimited, a BMW shop over in Burbank, California, only about 20 minutes away from where I live. I had gotten a heads up from a local friend on Instagram telling me that this place is closing down. There's a bunch of new old stock and rare items that are going to be sold for cheap. So show up and dig around. That's exactly what I did. Showed up early, 10 a.m., and talked with the owner and looked around. The owner was an incredibly nice guy, and even an E34 enthusiast himself, having his own white E34 M5. He was telling me about when the shop was in its prime, he was doing bare chassis restorations on 2002s, 2002 Ti's, E9s like 2.8s and 3.0 CS's, and even showed me a picture of the place with literally at least a dozen of these cars on the lot in process of a full restoration. Very cool. There was literally parts everywhere in this place. Rare new old stock galore. I ended up snagging these turbine covers for only about 300 bucks. I know, insane. And to top it off, I also got a complete set of front and rear E34 windshield trim, new old stock, still sealed. And the dates on them were 2021, so honestly, not even that old. Snagged those for 400 bucks. If you know, you know. Insane steal of the century. The plan with these turbine covers, restore them of course, but not to perfection. We're just doing a DIY job here to make them look presentable. I'm only going to be using 2 of them after all, and that's because I want to recreate something that I saw almost 10 years ago at Bimmerfest 2016. A blue E24 635 CSI with one side turbines and one side Throwing Stars. It was one of the coolest and most interesting things I've ever seen at the time, and many years later I have the opportunity to do the same thing and recreate that, but on my own E34. So with all that being said, let's get started. So I just went to the store, got a few things, was doing some research on what paint to use for this project. And you know, initially I had some of this, let me show you this VHT wheel paint, high temp, and I sprayed it on something and it looked way too metallic-y. So did some research and ended up getting a few things from the store. There's my receipt falling on the floor. So since, you know, it's kind of a porous metal, I believe they're magnesium. Got some filler primer. If this will focus really quickly. There we go. Yeah, got some high fill primer. And then got some high performance wheel coating. This is just regular Duplicolor silver wheel. And got some from the same line, just a gloss clear coat. I'm gonna try this on one of the centers. I'm just gonna give this a light scuff, light sand, paint it, and see how the finish is. And this will basically be our test dummy since we're only gonna be using 2 of them. All right, so we've had a little problem here. So as I was spraying, where is that can? Utter pile of shit. Maybe this can isn't good or something. As I was spraying it, it ended up, honestly, I don't even know if a single drop of paint came out of this thing. It was just all, it was all flake. It was all metallic flake, which, you know, I was hoping there not to be that much metallic flake, but this entire can is metallic flake. So much so that the cap was literally like it felt like suede. It didn't even feel smooth. It literally felt like just a thick piece of suede with just, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was, I don't know. That stuff's trash. So I switched back to the VHT, which I know I initially said I wasn't going to use, but you know, to be honest with you, I'm going to show you. It's not that bad, and it might even be a better match than what I was originally thinking. So this is a match with the original turbines, and you know, it is one shade off, admittedly, but I'm gonna bring you over to the throwing star and you're gonna see that it's a really good match, honestly. Right? I mean, right? Like, honestly, that's pretty damn good. I'm not even mad about it. I would say that's as good of a match as I'm going to get from just a rando AutoZone can of paint. So I think we're going to continue with this stuff. You know, I'm glad I did a test on this, because if I had done on one of the turbines, that would have been game over. I would have had to restart, resand a giant turbine piece, because that stuff over there sucks ass straight up. So we're going to use this. So as you can see, upgraded my paint booth. I got a much bigger piece of cardboard now to suitably do both pieces. I've masked off the edges of the cap. That way that when these plastic tabs snap in it here, they don't, you know, I don't add any thickness to the clips, so they clip in smoothly. Gave everything a good wipe down, everything sanded, and there's no wind, and yeah, I think we're good to go. So we got the primer down, it's looking nice and smooth, and we're ready to throw on our first coat of paint. Hopefully this lays down nice, because this is honestly the most important part, so let's see what happens. came back to take a look at the second coat, you know, while it's drying, and this guy has been hanging out with me while I paint, which is cool. Man, these look awesome, honestly. Like, I am thrilled with how these are coming out, and we still got to clear coat them. So I had the clear coat in the sun, you know, getting the can warm, but the sun kind of moved, which is fine. Can is still warm. It's time for the last step, clear coat. We got a couple of coats on both of these pieces, and like, honestly, like, I am more than thrilled. These are gonna look great, honestly. So after some time has passed, I have returned to take a look at these. You know, this is after a clear coat and everything, and honestly, man, like, I'm really happy with this. Even, like, I was looking at this, right? This looks fantastic, but if you flip it over, it's the color match is really not that bad, honestly. Maybe it's not 1000% identical, right? But it's more than presentable, more than perfectly fine for putting it on my car and, you know, looking nice. And it's all clear coated and everything, so we got a lot more work to do. Let's get going. This issue was closed like this issue was closed like this issue was closed like an elevator door. This issue was closed like this issue was closed like this issue was closed like an elevator door. Closed like this issue was closed like this issue was closed like. Been a pleasure to know y'all, and I'm letting you know I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know if I'll be back again. Kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you wait for me. Hold me like you know I'll never go home. Even though you know I will, I'm a traveling man, moving through places, space and time. Got a lot of things I got to do, but inshallah I'm coming back to you, baby boo. I'm a traveling man, moving through places, space and time. Got a lot of things I got to do, but inshallah I'm coming back to you, my baby boo. I'm leaving, but God willing I'll be back home to drop these heavy ass bags up my backbone. Around the world with a catalog of rap songs. My baby girl is walking, been away for that long. But no, you haven't, well at least it's how it seemed to me. My hometown is like a whole different scenery. The old timers on the stoop leaning leisurely. The new jacks up in the park smoking.